Buppert Rutherford was a vagrant who had grown tired of society's disregard for the environment. He had seen firsthand the effects of pollution and deforestation, and it broke his heart to see the planet deteriorating before his very eyes. Buppert had always felt like he didn't fit in with society. He couldn't stand the superficiality of modern life and the constant consumption and waste that came with it. He had tried to live a more sustainable lifestyle, but it felt like a drop in the ocean compared to the damage being done by corporations and governments. One day, Buppert decided he had had enough. He would no longer be a part of a society that was destroying the planet. He packed up his few belongings and set out into the wilderness. Buppert found a remote spot in the forest where he could live off the land. He built himself a small shelter and learned how to forage and hunt for food. He spent his days tending to the land and meditating on the beauty of nature. As time went on, Buppert became increasingly disillusioned with humanity's actions. He heard reports of oil spills, deforestation, and melting ice caps. He knew that the planet was in crisis, and he felt powerless to stop it. One day, a massive storm hit the forest, bringing with it strong winds and heavy rain. Buppert's shelter was destroyed, and he was left exposed to the elements. He realized then that he was not invincible and that the planet itself was vulnerable to the destruction wrought by humans. Buppert began to feel a sense of despair. He had given up everything to live a life in harmony with nature, but it seemed that even that was not enough to stop the environmental disasters that were raging all over the planet. One night, as he lay in his makeshift shelter, Buppert made a decision. He would not let the destruction of the planet continue. He would take a stand, even if it meant sacrificing himself. The next morning, Buppert set out on a mission. He walked for miles until he reached a busy highway. He stood on the side of the road with a sign that read, "Save the planet." Most people ignored him, but a few stopped to talk. Buppert explained his mission to them and urged them to take action. Some laughed and others dismissed him as a crazy old man, but Buppert stood firm. Days turned into weeks, and Buppert continued his protest. He was hungry and cold, but he refused to give up. He wanted to make a difference, even if it was just one person at a time. And then, one day, as he stood on the side of the road, a massive truck came barreling towards him. Buppert knew he didn't have time to move, and he closed his eyes, ready to meet his fate. The world continued to spin, but Buppert Rutherford was no longer a part of it. He had given up his life to try and make a difference, but in the end, the environmental disasters continued to rage all over the planet. If you don't want to miss any episodes of Buppert Stories, feel free to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.